During my daughter's baptism, my mother whispered loud enough for everyone to hear, "Shame we're blessing a bastard child." The priest was still holding my 3-month-old daughter over the baptismal font when my mother said those words out loud. The entire church went completely silent at that exact moment right then. My husband's hand tightened around mine so hard it hurt me physically. My mother was sitting in the front pew wearing all white and staring directly at me now. I asked her what she just said to everyone here at my daughter's baptism today. She stood up slowly and repeated herself even louder this time for the whole church. She said, "This child was conceived in sin, and everyone here deserves to know that truth right now." My mother-in-law gasped and covered her mouth with both hands immediately. The priest looked between us completely frozen with my baby still in his arms there. My mother pulled out her phone and started walking toward the front of the church boldly. She told everyone she had done one of those ancestry DNA tests 6 months ago for fun. She said she wanted to learn about our family heritage and health information from the results. She held up her phone and showed it to my husband first, then to the priest standing there. She said the results proved that my daughter shared no DNA match with my father at all whatsoever. None. She looked at all the guests sitting in the pews around us watching this happen. She said that meant I had gotten pregnant by someone else before my wedding day, obviously. She said I had trapped my husband with another man's child and lied about everything to everyone here today. My husband took the phone from her hands and stared at the screen with his mouth open wide. I grabbed my daughter from the priest and held her against my chest tightly right then. I told my mother she was absolutely insane for doing this here at church today. I told her I had never cheated on my husband ever at all during our relationship. I told her our daughter was conceived on our honeymoon in the mountains last year together. We had been together every single day since we started dating 3 years ago total. My husband was scrolling through the DNA results on my mother's phone, still reading everything. He asked me how I could explain why our daughter didn't match my father genetically then right now. My mother smiled that satisfied smile and folded her arms across her chest confidently. She said the science doesn't lie about these things at all whatsoever. She said I should just admit what I did wrong and stop embarrassing the family further here. That's when my aunt stood up from her seat in the back pew, suddenly and loudly. She rushed forward and grabbed my mother's arm hard, pulling her toward the side door fast. My mother yanked her arm away and told her sister to sit down right now immediately. My aunt's face was completely red and she was shaking her head no repeatedly. She told my mother to stop talking right this second before she said too much today. My mother asked her what she was talking about with this nonsense right now here. My aunt looked at me and then at my father sitting in the front row watching silently. She said something quietly to my mother that I couldn't hear from where I stood. My mother's face went from confident to confused to horrified in seconds then. She tried to grab her phone back from my husband, but he held it away from her reach. My husband was reading something on the DNA results page more carefully now with his eyes wide. He asked my mother why the test showed that my father wasn't related to me either at all. He turned the phone screen around so everyone nearby could see the results displayed there clearly. The DNA test showed my daughter matched my mother's genetics perfectly fine as expected normally, but it also showed that neither my daughter nor I matched with my father's DNA anywhere in the system. My father stood up from his seat slowly and asked what that meant exactly right now today. My aunt started crying and told my mother she had warned her about this happening eventually. My mother's hands were shaking and she couldn't speak any words at all then. My husband looked at me and then at my mother with understanding spreading across his face now. He said if our daughter doesn't match my father genetically, and I don't match my father genetically either, then that means only one thing clearly. My mother tried to run toward the church exit, but my father blocked her path to the door. He asked her who my real father was after 30 years of marriage together. She just stood there crying and couldn't answer him at all right then.